Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear brothers, how are you all? This is Mega Goal 2, Unit 2, Lesson 1. Let's get started. Today, inshallah, we will be talking about the conditional sentences with if clause, but we have a different situation, which is called imaginary situations. First of all, we have talked about the conditional sentence type 1. If you still remember, when F is followed by the present simple, then we have the future with will. And we said that in this situation, this action might happen in the future. So we still have a chance for this action to happen. But for what we are going to have for today, no, this is called imaginary situation. That means it is not possible to happen. We use the conditional sentences to talk about imaginary or hypothetical situations in the present. Use the simple past in the if clause. Would is often used in the main clause. So simply, what we did here is we changed the present into past, like here, and will into would. So we start with F, then we have the past form, then we have would or wouldn't for sure in the negative form. For example, if I found $1 million, I would keep it. If I found $1 million, I would keep it. Now this is called imaginary situations. Or I can say if I found $1 million, I wouldn't take it to the police. So again, in this situation, in this conditional sentence, we use F followed by the past simple tense. Then we have would or wouldn't plus infinitive. The contraction of would is, as all of you know, apostrophe D, and is used with all subjects. I would, you would, he would, she would, and so on. Can I start or can I put F in the middle of the sentence? Yes, no problem at all. I can say they would be happy if they had time to take a vacation. Look here, F, followed by the past form, had, then we have they would. So no problem at all if I put F in the middle, but still remember that F all the time in this situation is followed by the past form if they had. What about using might and could in conditional sentences? Might can replace would in conditional sentences to express possibility. If I had extra money, I might take a vacation to Hawaii. So in this situation, no problem at all to use might instead of would. Even I can use could. Could can be used in the F clause. It means if someone were able to. In this situation, could has to be in the place of the past simple form. So I said, for example, if I could travel anywhere, I would go to Tahiti. If I could travel, could travel. Could can also be used in the main clause. It means would be able to. Good. So I can say if we had more time, look here, F, followed by the past form, had, then what should we have here? I can have would, I can have might, and also I can have could. Like here, we could play another game of tennis. We could play another game of tennis. Let's have an exercise for that. We are going to match the sentence parts. The first one, if I were a very rich person, again, here F, followed by the past form. We have a point here. We know that I is followed by was. If I was, right? But regarding conditional sentences, in imaginary situations, we have to use were instead of was. So I say if I were, if it were, and so on. Okay, don't forget please. If I were a very rich person, What do you think? The answer is yes. I wouldn't have to work. I wouldn't have to work. Look at the parts here. F followed by the past form. This is where, past or verb to be. Then we have would plus infinitive. I would I wouldn't have to work. What about number 2? If I saw someone who was stealing in a store, what do you think? Yes, excellent. I would call the police. I would call the police. Again, if I saw someone who was stealing in a store, I would call the police. What about number 3? If I had more experience. If I had more experience, excellent. I would apply for the job. I would apply for the job. What about number 4? If I could say something to the president, just imagine that. That's why we call it imaginary situation. If I could say something to the president, I would tell him to cut taxes. Good. I would tell him to cut taxes. Of course, I can say I would. I can say I could. No problem at all. What about number 5? If I had to leave my home, yes, I might live with my aunt. And the last one, if I could choose any destination, yes, the answer is C. I would travel to New Zealand. Well, still we have more exercises, but you have to do it by your own. Thank you very much for listening. See you very soon, inshallah. Thank you.